Hey, greetings fellow nerds. I am a nerd fighting fat, and this is my week 22 update of being on Mounjaro, or Zepbound, same thing, but Mounjaro 10 milligram pen. So for this week, I had a great week. I lost 4.8 pounds, so I'm finally seem to be pushing through that plateau I was on there for a few weeks. So I really focused this week on keeping my sugars down. I averaged 2,200 calories a day. So for me, being a bigger guy, that's quite a bit below my what my basal metabolic rate should be, my BMR. I had 136 grams of carbs a day. Now some of those carbs are erythritol, which of course doesn't have any effect on your insulin levels. It's diabetes friendly. Sometimes I like to drink these guys. This is a buy. Only has 10 calories in this, but it has 10 grams of erythritol. So a total of 12 grams of carbs. So anyway, that inflates the carbs a little bit. But now I'm not saying erythritol is good for you, by the way. But as far as carbs go, it shouldn't have any effect on your insulin. So that's the thing I'm really looking for. Now, a lot of the carbs I had this week also came from one meal. It was my wife's birthday on Sunday, so I smoked prime rib for her. That's her favorite food. You can see here, it turned out, I like to say it turned out spectacular. She was very happy, so that's the important thing, right? Happy wife, happy life. It's her favorite food, so it was good. I also made some Brussels sprouts with it for a side, and I used, there's a group out there that they do a lot of meat smoking and stuff called Meat Church, and they had a recipe for some Brussels sprouts, and my wife and girls actually liked them and ate them, so that's a first. I'm not a huge fan normally of those, but it kind of looked good, and so, hey, you know, win on that. I think those are probably pretty healthy side item. Had a couple other sides, probably had a little more carbs than those. My wife made some scalloped potatoes, and they also made this raspberry jello salad. And then where the really huge pile of carbs came is I ate, it was her birthday, so I ate some cake and ice cream. I would have skipped it, but it was my girls' first time making a cake that they made for their mom, so I wanted to, you know, have some, and they did a good job. They did a good job with it, so I could honestly tell them they did a good job. So anyhow, besides that, I kept it pretty clean. The highest my blood glucose got to was 139. That was my high for the week. That's just crazy, incredibly awesome. You know, I'm very grateful I've been able to get the diabetes under control, and you know, it's basically diet and this stuff. I originally I was taking metformin as well, but I quit doing that, and so it's just the Mounjaro that's keeping, as far as medical help with that. So to me, that's like super important, right? Because if your diabetes is in control, that means your blood sugars are lower, which means you're not going to have the insulin in your bloodstream to take care of those, which means your sugars are going to be down, and then your body can, not your sugars are going to be down, but your insulin's down, and then your body can use your fat. It can burn fat. If you've got a lot of insulin in your bloodstream, you're not going to be able to drop weight. So to me, that's why fasting works so well for the, you know, super obese. Anyone large is probably insulin resistant. So it gives our bodies time to utilize the fat when we do fasting. That's why the non-diabetics, you always are reading, if you follow like the Mounjaro Reddit, or you know, other research, non-diabetics lose weight better on Mounjaro, or Zepbound is their now weight loss targeted one. Same with Wegovy and Ozempic. The non-diabetics typically lose weight better, and I think it's because they have their insulin down, so they can actually lose the weight when they're not, they're eating less, which is what these kind of cause you to do. So that's the secret, I think, is that it gets your insulin in check so well that then you can, and it also helps you to eat less, and then you can actually lose the weight. So speaking of fasting, this week I did get my 2 36-hour fasts in. I got 5 workouts in. So those that have been following me know besides swimming in my SwimSpa, one of the things I like to do is Beat Saber on the Oculus. I found a new exercise app for the Oculus I tried called Supernatural. So some of you may have heard of it before. It has a few different exercises in it, one of which is like a boxing, and one of them is called drops, which is very similar to Beat Saber. But what's cool about this is it's designed for exercise. So Beat Saber, you're doing it to the rhythm. It's a game. It's fun. They got good music. Well, this has that same fun and good music, but it's designed for exercise. So if you miss a couple, it's not going to say you failed and quit. It's got a trainer. It has trainers that they warm you up through some stretches beforehand and then some cool down. It's got also, it rotates you around 360 degrees. So Beat Saber, it's always just coming from the same spot. This one, it'll have these arrows go to the left. So you go to the left, or on my video, that's to the right, maybe. Anyway, but that's kind of how it kind of takes you through, and it does all this. And what's really cool that I really like about this as well is it has these really exciting 360 video environments. So one of the workouts I did, I was in Crater Lake. One I was on a volcano in Iceland, tidal pools in the Galapagos. So there's some really cool 360 environments that you're doing these workouts in. And I have the old Oculus, so it's not quite as high resolution as the newer one. So I bet it probably looks even more spectacular on the new one. But that was a fun thing this week. I did a few times working out with that Supernatural, and it's just kind of fun too because my SwimSpa was totally buried there for a couple days. We've just been getting snow here in Utah. So speaking of snow, I didn't have an exciting fall to show you guys this week, but I did tweak my back on Sunday. I'll tell you what, if I win while I was shoveling the snow, if I win the lottery, I am definitely going to report my walks and driveway with heating elements underneath, so I don't have to do the shoveling anymore. Or I guess I could also it'd be nice to have a south-facing house. It was pretty dumb, and I have a north-facing house, which gets no sun on my front walks and driveway. So my neighbor across the street, sometimes his will be completely just melted, and I still have to shovel, or I have an ice sheet. So anyhow, let's see. So weight loss product for the week. I wanted to share this little guy with you that I got. This is it's a Renpho is the brand. But what this is a digital tape measure. So, one of the things we like to do to kind of track progress in weight loss, sometimes you don't see it on the scale, but maybe your clothes are still fitting looser. And this is a way that you can, if you measure yourself, you're able to see that. So I shared the Me360 app with you guys before, and that kind of uses AI to do this. This gives you a little more accurate measurement on, certain places that you might want to do, like your waist or those things. So the way this works is you basically you pull this out, and it goes up to 60 inches. But then say I wanted to measure my huge bicep here. So basically you take this, and of course it's, some of this stuff is near impossible to do yourself, but with this guy, see, I click that in, and I just press this button, and then it will tighten itself up down to where it is, and then I can just yank it off, and I can see that my bicep is 53.9, centimeters. So just over 21 inches. Does metrics or, of course, US. So whichever your preference is on that. So anyway, that's a kind of a fun little way to be able to take some of these measurements yourself. It's not perfectly unawkward, but at least it's possible, right? I mean, holding it with a tape measure, trying to look at the thing, bicep's one thing. You could probably do your bicep. But, like some of these other measurements, it's very kind of awkward to see. Or like if you're trying to measure your neck, for example, how to do that with a tape measure yourself and try to see the thing, not going to happen. So this is kind of a cool little device for that kind of a thing. Anyways, that's it for today. It's just a short little update. Had a great week weight-wise, so I'm super happy. I'm doing the Mounjaro, I'm doing my workouts, I'm doing the fasting, I'm watching my sugars. It seems to be still working, so we're heading the right direction. So keep fighting the fat, y'all, and take care. Cheers.